I think this one is really funny. Makes me feel like an old person just to talk about it. We've got a hot water bottle.
One man, one van, and two cats. Pure awesomeness. I also travel with my two partners who each have their own cat. We're full-time nomads and travel all over the country. Check out my adventures with my crew of felines and humans as we live rent-free, explore, and generally just have a great time. You're invited. I hope you come along because you're guaranteed to enjoy the ride. So sit back, hang tight, and don't forget to buckle up.
What's going on, guys? It's Kai. I'm here again with another video, and this time I'm here with the one and only Princess Sheera. She's usually sleeping during the day when I'm filming, and even at night sometimes when I'll be filming, she'll just be nowhere to be found. But I decided to grab her and make sure she can greet you guys to this new video, as much as she's completely hating this right now. But she's not a big fan of being held. She tolerates it for me, but she's not a big fan. Anyhow, this time I was like, I'm going to bust out the toys. I want to make sure that she's here for the start of this video. So, hi guys. So, I'm going to let her go before she hates me for the rest of my life. I'm here to talk to you guys about how to stay warm in the winter or in the cold doing van life. And this is actually part 2 of the former video I made a couple weeks ago. I came to realize there were things that I forgot or didn't think to mention, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a whole second video. So these are methods that I use, some more than others, on how to stay nice and toasty even in an uninsulated Ford Econoline work van conversion like I have. If you want to call it a conversion, really, I emptied everything out of it and threw my stuff in it. Basically, as you can tell, I have a lot of stuff. So yeah, this stuff hopefully will help you. It helps me a lot. And I'm going to jump right in because I know that small talk is just silly. So last video in part 1, I did mention having a low wattage blow dryer or hair dryer. So here's actually one of them right now I say here's one of them because I actually have found 2 more of these as of late at Goodwill outlets. So I have 3 now. I don't even know why. I saw them and I was like, I can't let this go. This is so cool. This is actually a Brookstone one here. And they vary in wattage and how much they pull. One of the ones I have only pulls 100 watts, which is amazing. If you're living in a van like I am, you want something that's not going to pull a lot of watts because you only have so much available electricity. You definitely don't want to try to use your car battery because you will kill that battery, and in the morning you'll be like, oh crap, you know, I've got to jump my car. So one of these guys is going to run between like 100 and maybe 400 watts. To be honest, I can't remember what this one pulled. There's a black one too that pulled like 300, and I was like, oh, that's a lot. My red one pulled 100, so ish, like 95 or something. And then this one, I'm not sure. I actually can't remember. So blow dryers can work to heat you up, but they're not the most efficient things ever. So I just wanted to show you guys an example. As you can tell, I mean, they're like really small. You know, it looks like for like a child or something, but in a small space, it produces a pretty good amount of heat. A big, I guess you call it a secret or tip, a big piece of advice would be to put it like under the blanket. Now, you don't want to risk a fire, so don't completely have it under all the covers or blankets. But if it's in a small area like under your blanket or your sheet, you know, you can feel that heat collect really fast. It's going to warm up the entire tiny space under the blanket. So whether you're sleeping under a sleeping bag or under a blanket, you know, do that trick and that'll really help. It's more like a short-term heat source, you know, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. I probably wouldn't just have it running all the time because it's going to take a lot of power, and it's also really noisy. So there's that. So next, something I forgot to actually mention in part 1, kind of common knowledge, also popular, are hot hands. Everyone knows about these, right? So hot hands are super nice because if you buy the name brand, now I will emphasize, buy the name brand. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but the off brands, I mean, you're talking 1 to 3 hours, I feel like, of heat, maybe 4 if you're lucky. These usually advertise they last, I believe it's 8 hours. So these will last a really long time. You could literally sleep for 8 hours and wake up and it's still hot. It's still warm. So that's awesome. So yeah, I get these, actually I get almost everything I'm about to cover at the Goodwill outlet. Usually I find a whole bunch of these, be it the name brand or off brand. I'll still grab them even if they're off brand because they're like free. They weigh like nothing. Found all 3 of my blow dryer. No, that's not true. 2 of the blow dryers at a Goodwill outlet. One of them I ordered off Amazon. Big mistake, right? Because now I just found 2 more, but I'm half kidding because that was a long time before I found the 2 newer ones. Anyway, I digress. So moving on, I mentioned this in the last video, but I wanted to show you guys. I went ahead and pulled this out. This is my tiny little space heater. So the cool thing is it's a heater and it's really tiny. The bad thing is this baby pulls like 450 watts. So that's like the mother of, you know what I'm talking about, like all watt pulling as far as these things go. I've never tried to use this for any extended amount of time, to be honest. To heat, I just found it at the Goodwill outlet and I was like, hey, this is really cool. It's like really small. I have to get it for van life. But do I want to just drain my power unit? That would probably last on my larger power unit. That would probably last like, geez, I'm trying to think, 1 hour, hour and a half. So that would go from 100% to 0% for like an hour, hour and a half, if I'm lucky, just for this. So that's not really worth it. But it was pretty much free, the Goodwill outlet. I had to get it. And it's just, you know, it's kind of cool. That being said, if you ever find shore power or essentially an outdoor AC unit, not AC unit, what I'm talking about, AC outlet, right? You could actually plug this in to that, right? So those are not impossible to find. Sometimes you'll find one at like a lamp post or wherever, right? Be advised, though, that you are using someone else's electricity, businesses or whatnot. So you may get in trouble. They might ask you to stop doing that or leave. But just so you know, that can work under those circumstances. So this is like old school, okay? So this guy, I mean, you know, pretty self-explanatory. You would just fill this up with as hot of water as possible. I mean, ideally boiling water. And fill it up. You know, there's got a little screw top in here. You would screw that really tight. It should be sealed. And then you can actually put that under your covers with you in the sleeping bag, etc. And they're really cheap, $5 or less, I'd imagine. I bought this one new. I shouldn't have, again, because I see them at the outlet. But yeah, you know, it's not fantastic. It will keep you warm for X amount of time, but you'll wake up in the morning, it'll be cold. You know, it will not keep heat all night, so don't have any impression or illusion that that's going to happen, or think that I said that. Definitely not. But hey, it's something, you know, it adds to everything. The next thing I wanted to show y'all is not directly a source of heat. It is actually something to help you feel not as cold. So it is a dehumidifying pack. So I got this guy at Dollar Tree. Pretty straightforward. It has little silicone beads in it, silicone dioxide, I believe. And what it does is that material, that chemical, pulls the moisture in the water out of the air. So it's got a little reservoir at the bottom here and little air vents up top. And all you do is remove the plastic, remove the foil. It's got like a paper covering, and then you put the little guard here back on. It's not really necessary, but it's like a little plastic guard. And then over time, you'll see water start to fill up inside here. So the downside is that it can only fill so much. But from the moment you start seeing water until it's full, I'd say you have maybe a couple weeks. So that's pretty cool. Dollar Tree recently raised their prices. I don't know if nationwide, but at least in the Northeast, like we've been. So these are now $1.50. So more like $1.50 tree. But yeah. So anyway, I always have one of these going at any time, almost always, because the more moisture you feel, as we covered, I think in the last video, yeah, we covered about having the windows cracked. Having the windows cracked helps. It's going to help some of the moisture to leave. But, you know, I have a larger vehicle. If you have like a van, you know, how much is that really going to get the moisture out? So these are just going to help a little bit more to pull some of that moisture out of the air. So right now I have one open, but I mean, you could have 3 or 4 if you want, just to really help with that, especially if you live in a humid place or a place that gets really humid. So yeah, little moisturizing or moisturizing, dehumidifying pack here. And the camera shakes every now and then. That would be Sheera walking back and forth and knocking into my tripod. So just in case y'all are wondering, but you probably figured. So the last little thing I wanted to show y'all are a variation of what I had said last time. So last time I covered thermals and, you know, insulated type of underwear and clothing like that. But how about really warm, fluffy socks, right? So you can sleep in your normal socks, sure, but socks like this are not really meant to be worn, out and about under your shoes. You can if you want to, but these are just really just like a thicker material, and it's meant to really just keep you warm. So these are actually some of my thinner ones, and here recently at the Goodwill outlet, of course, I found some really fluffy, thick ones. No correction, Chloe found me some. I have to give the credit where it's due. So Chloe, one of my partners, she grabbed me some of those and asked me if I wanted them, and they're like twice as thick as these. So I was like, of course, yes. But these are nice, I have these, one more, and now the new big fluffy pair that she got me. And yeah, if it's really cold, sleeping in just regular socks is really thin and it's not going to do much. So wear these, right? So that's about it on the physical new items I wanted to show y'all. I think those things will really help y'all, especially the hot hands. I mean, you can't really go wrong with those. You could throw some, at your feet, even in your, say you're sleeping in like a hoodie, throw one or two in the pockets, right? Maybe three, right? Two in the pockets and one at your feet. That'll keep you really nice and toasty because they get hot. I'm sure y'all know that. The last thing I wanted to mention is an honorable mention. I no longer have this item because I tried it and I personally wasn't able to get this to work. Maybe y'all can, but I've seen this in other videos and I thought it was worth a try. So what you can do is like really old fashioned in terms of getting like some kind of like say like a cast iron skillet. I think they make actual items that, I don't know what they're called, but they're some kind of a metal box that you can put hot coals in. I used a cast iron skillet because it's so thick, it can get really hot. And what I did, I bought some lava rocks from a gardening store. The problem is those don't stay hot for long at all. So I was like, is this, some video I think said to do this. I was like, is this actually going to work? So I heated up, the pan, the skillet, I should say, with the lava rocks, and then, shut the lid and let it just kind of chill, out in the open air to hopefully heat up the air. I did actually try that. It sounds kind of silly in retrospect, but I was like, well, maybe it'll work. No, it didn't. But that being said, there's probably something I was doing wrong. Maybe research that. Maybe it takes, I don't know, actual hot coals or something. Maybe I'm just silly and thought that I just needed to use some lava rocks, which cool down really fast, which, yeah, that's a pretty silly thought. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. But I thought it was an honorable mention because cast iron is really thick metal. And if you could find the right thing to put in there to heat up on the inside and the whole skillet itself is hot, that might really warm up. At least, you can do it maybe 1800 style and put it under your blanket or inside the sleeping bag. Not too close, you don't want to burn yourself. But I thought it would be worth to mention. Other videos do talk about it, and so far I've not been able to make it work, but why not go ahead and throw that out there? So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you on this video. If you haven't seen the first one, go check that out. A lot of good material there. So yeah, always good to see you guys. Always good to talk to y'all. I'll be making these, as you know, every week. It's a brand new channel, so subscribe and like, and turn on notifications, and leave me some comments down below. Maybe ask me if there's anything you need advice on specifically when it comes to staying warm, or just about van life in general. Also, you can share with everybody what are the tips and tricks you personally know that maybe I didn't think of or I left out. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope you benefit from this video, and as always, do no harm, always do good, and never stop thinking for yourself. Until next time, bye.